Hello people, Keiderson here. Today I'm going to be telling you all about the time I went to the most dangerous carnival on the entire planet. And now I don't want to spoil too much, but let's just say one of the rides of this carnival almost ended my life. So at my hometown, every summer around the 4th of July, a carnival would come and set up near our school's football field. There was a big open field right next to it, so that's kind of where they would set up everything. And it would also take over the football field a little bit. It just spread out through all of that. It was a pretty big carnival. And they had everything you could expect. They had the funnel cakes, all the deep fried food. They had all the carnival games that were always absolute scams. Let me tell you about this one game that was 1,000,000% a scam, and literally I don't know anybody who has ever won it. So it seemed pretty simple, right? You had to throw a dart at a balloon and pop it. I think it was something like if you get 3 pops in a row, you get the big prize. Well, these balloons were made out of like fucking metal or something. Those little metal balloons from Bloons Tower Defense? Swear to God, it was those balloons. These balloons were literally unpoppable. You could throw a dart as hard as you could, make it hit the balloon perfectly, and literally nothing would happen. The dart would just bounce off the balloon and hit the floor. It was quite literally impossible to even get one balloon pop, let alone 3 in a row. And that carny must have been making bank, because people would be trying it all day long because it seems really freaking easy, but in reality you can't even pop the balloon. But yeah, just a classic carnival games. Nobody can win them. They make money. It's basically just a scam. And honestly, pretty much every single game there was like that. The only game that I could really think that I ever won at that carnival was like the one where you have to pick the rubber duck, and if it has a certain color on it, you win a tiny little stuffed animal. And by tiny, I mean like it's literally like a keychain stuffed animal. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I won a keychain teddy bear or something before. Whoop-de-doo. So yeah, we had the carnival food, the carnival games. Oh, and also we had the carnival shows. These shows were absolute garbage. We had a quote-unquote hypnotist that put on a show there. And this dude absolutely blew. I remember everybody sitting around in the audience getting ready to watch the show, and then he comes up on the stage, picks a few people from the audience, and they go up on the stage. He has everybody take a seat in like a foldable chair. There's probably like 6 or 7 people up there. He starts talking like, "Close your eyes and imagine you're in a lake on a canoe, blah, blah, blah." And then eventually he goes, "Once I snap my fingers, you will fall into the deepest sleep ever." Usually at these shows, you'd expect people to like fall to the ground, like their hands are dangling, whatever. But whenever he snapped his fingers, everybody is just still sitting there with their eyes closed. Nothing has changed whatsoever. And then he was explaining that if it didn't work for certain people, that they can just get off the stage and let the people who were actually hypnotized stay. And people start leaving the stage, and eventually there's literally nobody left on stage. It didn't work for a single person. The dude tried to come up with an excuse saying like, hypnotism doesn't work for every single person out there, so I guess this is just a very bad coincidence, blah, blah, blah. And then he put on a really shitty magic show instead, and it was just an awful experience. So far, this carnival seems fun, right? You can go willingly get scammed and play some shitty carnival games. Or, speaking of shitty, you can go see a shitty hypnotist fail to hypnotize people. Hey, at least they got some good deep fried food. And honestly, the carnival food there was pretty fire, not gonna lie. I don't think anyone can really mess up that delicious carnival food. Now, there's still one more very important aspect to this carnival to talk about. We covered the food, the games, the shitty shows, and now we're gonna be covering the rides. So carnival rides are made to be taken apart and put back together over and over again very easily and quickly. And it usually leaves people a little more scared of carnival rides than an actual like big ride at an amusement park. But then again, they all did have to follow an inspection and like a certain safety standard, or else obviously the public wouldn't be able to ride it. So I felt pretty safe going on the carnival rides. I thought I would be perfectly fine. First one me and my friend go on is the little one that like whips you around in a circle, and then you go straight a little bit and then it whips you around. It was literally just called the whip. It was nothing crazy, nothing extreme. It was just a casual ride that you sat in a little cart with a little handlebar on it, and it whipped you around. And I didn't die on that ride, so that was fun. Then we went on another ride. It was called the Scrambler, and that was the one where you had like the carts. It was 3 of them, like 3 seats on each little cart, and it would spin in circles while the whole entire thing spin in circles. I don't know if you guys are able to catch what I'm talking about, but if you saw it, you would know what it was. Anyways, we ride that, and this ride went on forever. At first, it was really fun. I was having a great time. But then, it just kept going. It didn't stop. It was literally like 2 minutes straight, and it's still going somehow. I literally don't even know what was going on. It's like the ride operator took a nap or something and just let the ride go. He had enough for the day. No, but seriously, we were probably on that ride for like 5 minutes before it was put to a stop. I don't think I've ever been that dizzy in my entire life. Luckily, I don't get sick, but other people do. There's people throwing up all over the place after they got off that thing. Luckily, nobody threw up while the ride was in motion, because with my luck, it would have splashed me right in the face and I would have had vomit all over me. Yeah, no thank you. You know, even though the ride lasted forever, it seemed like we still kept riding rides because we paid for the all ride pass and we were gonna get our money's worth. We were gonna ride every single thing there. We hop on the next ride, which is that one that spins really, really fast, and then it turns sideways, and you're like anti-gravity, you know, all there is for restraint is a little rope in front of you. This carnival loved things that spin. I don't know what's up with that, but literally every single ride there would get you dizzy as hell. Still fun, though. We rode that, and nothing out of the ordinary really happened on that ride. It was just completely normal, to be honest. Pretty fun. Had a good time on that one. And we rode the little glider ride where you laid down on your stomach, and it just went up and down a little bit. Felt like you were flying. That was also pretty fun. Then the last ride there was the biggest one, and we saved it for last. There's that one ride that swings back and forth until eventually it makes a full loop, and then another loop, and then it goes the other way around. You know exactly what ride I'm talking about. So we're waiting in line. Eventually it's our turn. We get up, walk into the little capsule. It's like a little cage, actually. It's all enclosed. This one, like you sat inside the thing that was going upside down. So we get in the cage, and there's one of those restraints that come over your head and onto your chest that makes like the shape of a U. So we pull that down, and I go to look for a seatbelt to buckle in, and there is no seatbelt on the U, which is kind of weird because usually with those restraints, there's like a little seatbelt that connects to the seat. So like even if it doesn't lock in place, you're gonna be safe. I didn't really care though. I just had trust in the carnival, I guess, for some reason, which I probably shouldn't have. But I didn't care, right? I wanted to ride this ride. We've been waiting all day to ride it. I was not about to get off because there was no seatbelt. So I pull the restraint down and I'm holding it in place because it hasn't locked yet. The ride instructor says that it's going to lock in place eventually and just to keep holding it there. He then closes the cage door and walks over to the operating room. And I guess he just starts the ride and completely forgets that my thing hasn't locked in place yet, and neither has my friends. We're still holding it in place. And then the ride starts moving forward a little bit, and then it comes backwards. It's really slow right now, you know, nothing too crazy happening. Me and my friend are screaming at the ride operator to stop it, but he's just sitting there not doing a thing. He's just watching us go. The ride isn't stopping, and it starts getting faster. We go further back and further forward. At this point, I'm literally terrified. I feel like I'm gonna die. Like, this is it. My life is over. This is the final time I ever get to do anything. I'm spending my last seconds in a cage with my friend at a weird carnival. And as this ride builds up higher and higher, I'm getting more and more terrified. And it's getting harder and harder to hold the restraint in place that's literally keeping me alive. And before I know it, we're doing the loop part. And this loop lasted forever. Like, this thing was really struggling to make it all the way around in a circle. Like, I'm telling you, we had probably like 10 seconds of hang time before it swung back down to the bottom. And this whole time, I'm holding my restraint with all my strength. I'm literally holding my body weight in my arms. Like, literally. Eventually, it's just too much to hold. I can't do it. I'm not the strongest man out there. I'm actually pretty weak. And the restraint just kind of falls out of my hand, and my head bangs against the top of the cage. I'm literally out of my seat. I'm not in my seat whatsoever. My head is on the ceiling. I'm pushing my feet towards the bottom of the cage to like keep it there, and I'm literally like balancing my head on the ceiling at this point. Not my seat at all. Like I said, like, it was literally the scariest shit that has ever happened to me. I thought I was dead. I really thought I was dead. And the thing comes swinging down, and luckily, instead of me flying all over the cage like I thought was gonna happen, it just puts me back into my seat. And I'm like, oh, thank God I'm alive. But then before I know it, I'm upside down again. We're doing another loop, and then another loop. And then it switches up on the directions, and we're going the other way. And I'm holding myself in place, falling out of my seat every single time it goes upside down. Literally the scariest shit ever. I'm screaming on top of my lungs for help. Like, this was not fun. And my friend was in the same position as me too. He was banging his head against the ceiling every single time we went upside down. He was screaming for his life. It just wasn't fun at all. But anyways, the ride eventually comes to a stop. Thank God. We get off and tell the ride instructor what was going on. And all he does is just smile. And that's it. He just smiles and doesn't say a word. We were both pretty young, so we didn't really know how to confront people. So we kind of just walked away and went on with our day, went and saw the fireworks show, and then went home. And yeah, that was how I almost died at a carnival. If you enjoyed, do not forget to leave a like on the video and also subscribe if you want to hear some more of my stories. Click that thingy right there. I'll see you over there.